Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today, we have a very exciting video, for me at least. Today we're going to be doing the full review of my favorite knife ever, the Cold Steel AD-15. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. This is a big ol' knife, although, it's kind of more of a normal size knife from Cold Steel. So let's get some size comparisons going. Here he is against our Rat 1. Kind of similar color scheme. So, about the same in length. A little bit bigger width-wise. Here's our Rat 2. There we go. So we have an overall length of about 8.5 inches. Blade length of about 3.6 inches. And an overall weight of about 6.5 ounces. Next up, here's our Benchmade bug out. There we go. So, pretty similar blade shapes, nice drop point. Drop points will never not be useful. Here he is against our PM2. So, a little bit bigger than a PM2. By just a hair. Well, maybe more than a hair. Here he is against the Gerber Paraframe and the Gerber Mini Paraframe. And just a couple more. Let's go with the Kershaw Bare Knuckle. Almost called it the Knockout for some reason. I've never owned a Knockout. And my favorite budget knife, the CJRB Feldspar. And, oh shoot, I forgot some of my key size comparison knives. Sorry about that. So here he is against the Civivi Praxis. They've got kind of the same vibe going, a little bit. And the Civivi Elementum. And we will go ahead and end it there for size comparisons, because it's getting a little bit long. But I like to do a lot of size comparisons. I like to do enough size comparisons that I think most people will have handled at least one or two of the knives that I compare this guy to. So, the AD-15. This knife is based on a custom by Andrew Dempko, and as a lot of you probably know, he works really closely with Cold Steel, and so they came out with this, the AD-15. This is the production version. I've had this knife for a while. Really, really loved it, as you can see. This is my favorite knife of all time, bar none. I bought this knife more than a year ago for my summer job. During the summer times, I work way up in the mountains here on a ranch, and I'm part of the fencing crew. And so I was looking for just a really tough, solid knife that I could carry around with me everywhere. And so I saved up and I bought this guy. And he has never failed me. He has served me well, and throughout the course of this review, I'll tell some stories of me and this guy. But, for now, let's go cut some cardboard and talk about the overall utility of this beast of a knife. Alright. Let's cut some stuff with the Cold Steel AD-15. What do I have laying around right now? Just cardboard scraps. Yeah, it looks like it. So, as you can see, we have a really nice drop point blade here. This knife is so comfortable. Andrew Dempko is a magician with ergonomics. This knife, as you can see, this little area here, you can choke up in. Back here, very comfortable. This jimping on the top. It looks like it'd be really aggressive, but actually, it's very nice. It's really, really nice. And usually, I use this knife when I'm wearing gloves. But even with bare hands, it's just very comfortable. The G10, yeah, it's aggressively textured, but it doesn't tear your hand up. Your pocket is another matter, but your hand, no, it provides a lot of positive retention. And I don't know, I like that. I like that a whole lot. Is this a slicer? No. I mean, no. The blade stock pretty thick, and it's a cold steel. So slicing with this, not really. But that doesn't mean it's not a good cutter, because it does cut. This knife is pretty much the definition of a work knife. I probably actually need to sharpen mine up a little bit since the last time I used him. Because I use this guy a lot and I use him hard. But let's go take a closer look, shall we? So much fun. Alright, so let's talk about the AD-15 a little bit more. How's it carry? I mean, that's not a discreet carry, but I prefer it. Like I said earlier, when I use this knife, most of the time I'm wearing gloves. It's nice to have something to grab onto. You grab onto the knife. Right there I tried to Emerson wave it open. Sometimes if you catch these just right, you can do it, but they're not made to do that. One thing about the carry on this guy is you see this G10? Yeah, see how aggressive that is? That does cause some problems when you first get it. It's an easy fix. Take the clip off, sand down underneath the clip and a little bit before. And then, as you can see mine, whoops, if I hit the pocket seam, mine slides in and out with no problem. Still a little bit rough on the pockets, but it's to be expected. This clip itself, I really love. Reversible. This knife is full ambi, dual thumb studs, and the lock. This lock is what makes this knife awesome. This is the Shark Lock, designed by Andrew Dimko, and I love it. It is really, really cool. When I first got this knife, this was a two-hand knife for me. Open it, close it. But after practicing with it for a little bit, you can totally thumb flick it out and close it one-handed. Usually mine's a little bit smoother than this. Like I said, this guy gets used a lot. He needs a good, well, look at him. He definitely needs to be cleaned up and taken apart, lubed, sharpened, whole 9 yards. But love this knife. Disassembly on this guy is a little bit interesting. There's a little spring under here. If you don't catch that when it comes flying out, oh boy. But, you know, other than that, oh, this knife is just so nice. So nice. I have used this, I have beaten the absolute crap out of this knife time and time again. S35VM blade steel holds up very well. You know, I don't know what it is about cold steel, but they seem to do a fantastic job with every steel they use. Anyways, I think that's actually all I have to say right now. Let's go back to the table, because there's a lot more I have to say there, and we can take a closer look at this dirty blade. Let's do it. Alright, cold steel AD-15. What do I like and what do I not like? You know what? Usually I start with the likes. We're going to start with the dislikes because there's way too many likes. So dislikes, the clip was, the getting it in and out of the pocket, right out of the box was not fun at all. I had to, you know, sand down that G10 quite a bit so that it would slide in there. And I could probably go even a little bit further, I just haven't. And that's it. That's what I don't like. That's everything else I like, you know? I love this knife is a full ambi knife. That's really, really cool. I love the look of this knife. I think it looks amazing. I love that it's from a fantastic designer, and I love that it's based on a custom. That's really awesome. And I've never held a custom Demco. I probably never will. Boo-hoo, AD-20. But from what I've heard, this is very, very close to that. And, you know, I think this is a great knife because, you know, it is fidget. It's a tough, hardworking knife with a little bit of fidget factor. Not as much as the AD-20. Again, boo-hoo, poor me. Please, Cold Steel, make one of those. But, you know, this is a hardworking knife. There's a story I want to share. And I'll put in a video clip and some pictures here in a sec. But I already said I work up on a ranch during the summers. I'm part of the fencing crew. And so during the winter time, you can't get to this ranch. It's up in the mountains. And during the winter time, there's 10, 15, up to 20 feet of snow in there. And so that's very destructive. So what we do is we have a lot of fences that we lay down on the ground. You know, we can take them off stationary posts and lay the fence on the ground. Then when summertime comes along, we put them back up, run cows through. But there are some fences that we cannot put down because they're on high mountain slopes. They're very steep and very rocky. And if we put the fence down, the snow would just take it off the side of the cliff and it'd be gone. So what happens instead is that those fences get very damaged under the weight of the snow, and trees fall on them during the winter time and break the fence. So most of the time we have chainsaws to deal with that, or if it's a smaller tree, about this big around, you can just throw it off. Well, I'm the youngest guy on our fencing crew, and so usually after we come back throughout the entire summer, we recheck the fences that we've already been through, because trees will fall down on them still, even when it's not wintertime. And so I'm the youngest guy there, and so whenever we going back and checking fences, they'll make me run up to the top real quick and see if there's any problems, and then I'll come back down and let them know, and the whole crew can go up there. So I go up there with just my pouch, my hammer, my fencing pliers, some staples, some wire, and I run up there. And usually we carry chainsaws, but since, you do not want to lug a heavy chainsaw up a cliff going like that. So I'll run up through the trees and check the fence and, make small fixes. Well, one day I'm going down a fence in the same way. And I used to also sometimes carry those folding saws, but I broke a couple of them, so I stopped carrying those. So I find this tree, and it's a small tree, just about this big around. But it's fallen on the fence, and it's forked between two other trees, which means I can't push it anyway, and I can't really lift it off the fence. So what I end up doing is I had this guy in my pocket. I pulled out my Cold Steel AD-15, and I started chopping away, and I cut down that tree until it got to a spot where I could kind of push it a little bit backwards and just have it off the fence. And I'll put in some clips of that and some pictures right now. I hope you enjoyed that. So, in summary, me and this knife have been through a lot together. A lot. And this is, I'm a guy, I do a lot of hard use type of stuff with my knives, and this knife just, no matter what I throw at it, it comes back begging for more. So, what more can I want? I think this knife looks great, and 2021. Today is January. What day is today? The 15th. Oh boy, that was kind of a duh moment for me. Today's the 15th, And, you know, I've heard rumors that Cold Steel is making a AD-15 light. And you better believe I'm going to pick that up. It's supposed to have the AUS 10A steel and Grivery handles. I will be picking that up for sure. I'm very excited about that. And, man, I think that's great. I kind of wish they do a AD-10 light. I always want to get my hands on AD-10. Anyways, I'm rambling now. But in conclusion, this knife here, fantastic knife. Fantastic. I cannot say enough good about this guy. If you're looking for a hard use knife that will stand up to abuse, but, you know, still is a knife that, like, I'll sit and I'll play with this guy, you know, at my desk or something. This is a good knife to get. And especially if you like Andrew Demko's work, I mean, this is a beautiful knife, and it's a unique knife too. The not shark lock in this case, this is the scorpion lock. Can you tell I'm kind of drooling over the AD-20? I think everyone is, but yeah. Anyways, this is without a doubt my favorite knife that I've ever owned, and it's also, yeah, this is the most expensive knife I've bought. Not the most expensive knife I own, but it's the most expensive knife that I've bought at full price, not secondhand. And I love it. I really, really love it. And even when I'm at, you know, even when I'm at college and, you know, I'm not up in the mountains working, I'm not camping or anything, I still sometimes slip this guy into my pocket just because I love it so much. And I mean, gosh, it's a great knife. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Ergo's fantastic. It looks amazing. It's got a little bit of fidget factor. Tough. Oh yeah, I mean, this lock, I mean, right now, that blade's not going anywhere, but then when you're holding it, you're further, you know, putting pressure downwards, just trapping that blade. It's not going anywhere. And yeah, after this, I'm going to go clean this guy up if I can. Take him apart, lube him, sharpen him, all that good stuff. And, you know, so he'll be ready for the next time I need him. Of course, if you're just looking for an EDC knife in an office scenario, this is not the knife for you. You know, if you're looking for a drop point, office EDC, bam. Jeez. But if you're an enthusiast, this is a great knife to just have in your collection. If you're someone who beats on their knives, again, this is a great knife to have. If you're someone who just loves Cold Steel, I'm pretty sure you've already got one or two of these. You know? I think it's an amazing knife, and I cannot praise it enough. And this was probably a very biased review. That's not usually what you want from a knife reviewer, but hey, I mean, I just wanted to do this review because I love this knife so much. Anyways, that's going to be all from me. If you liked the video, go ahead and like it. Click the little thumbs up, do my dad. Comment and subscribe. I've been Gideon Stuff, and we'll see you in the next video.